What is love? My bad, wrong music. Sorry. Let's redo. Ready? What is love? Is love this deeply erotic sensation that you feel towards someone? Is it this intense feeling or butterflies we get when someone walks into a room? Is love this level of accessibility that someone has into your life? Or maybe is the ability to feel for someone so deeply in their absence? Is love some sort of intimate connection you have with someone? And it doesn't have to be romantically intimate. Maybe it's with a friend or a parent or a brother or mentor that guides you along life. What is love to you? Maybe a different question I might need to ask you today is your definition of love misguided? Listen, give me 1 minute of your time. And if after what I say, when this countdown is over, it's not resonating with you, shut this video off. But if it is, I want you to continue and let's have this conversation. What do loving people do? And I'm not just talking about romantically here. When you love someone, you're going to speak words of compassion to them. When you love someone, you're going to be willing to forgive them, even if they may do you wrong. When you love someone, you're going to empower them to see their truest potential. When you love someone, you're going to be there for them and stand up with them when they need you. When you love someone, you're going to be telling them and appreciating them so they can know how great they are to you. We need to love others, but you are also worthy of love. When was the last time you reminded yourself that you are great and how great you are to you? When was the last time you looked in the mirror and said, man, I am amazing, without critiquing every detail about yourself? When was the last time you looked at yourself and was happy? When was the last time you spoke with words of compassion to yourself? When was the last time you actually loved and prioritized you? Do you love others more than you love yourself? Let's talk about this for a second. It's the golden rule that many of us have heard at a young age. But even if you may not have heard this philosophy before, it's pretty simple. Treat others the way you would like to be treated. I've heard ethics professors speak on this concept. There are many world religions that have similar creeds to this. But much of it remains the same. Treat people the way you would like to be treated. I remember as a child, I would look at this with simplicity. I know I didn't always necessarily do this all the time as a child. However, I knew that this was something I understood as a concept that we should all live by. But the older I got, it seemed like this very simple phrase started becoming a lot more complex. The golden rule, treat others the way you would like to be treated. The meaning became a lot deeper than what I thought it was. And before we get into all the complexities, I want to share a little bit about my heart. I was bodybuilding for about 3 to 4 years, and I loved it. It was great for me at the time, but fitness definitely became my identity. And if you know anything about bodybuilding, it's a lot about self-image and how you look. Body dysmorphia is a very serious thing within the fitness community because body dysmorphia simply is you are looking at yourself and the reflection that you see is not what you perceive, right? And so some people, like myself, I thought I wasn't that big or I thought I wasn't that shredded, whatever the case may be. And so I would have a 4-pack of abs instead of a 6-pack, and that caused me to believe that I was fat. The negativity outweighed the body of work that I had done. And so I was very, very critical of myself. A lot of people in my past may have talked about my weight, talked about how I was chubby, talked about how I couldn't get a 6-pack ever, talked about even possibly my work ethic. And I used to drown those away, but I started also realizing that my own thoughts became negative and critical to the point where it was now affecting not just me, but it was affecting my wife. So I was very critical. I would tell her, why are you eating this? Or you need to start hitting the gym more. What else are you doing with your time? You should be hitting the gym just like me. You always said you wanted to fit in this size, or you wanted to fit in this dress. You have to do what it takes. And trust me, I already know I'm ashamed. I should have never been saying those things. But I'll never forget what she told me. She said it to me like this: Brian, you are so overly critical of yourself. And because of your criticism towards you, you're projecting your insecurities onto me. And she legit was just like, stop it. I love you for who you are. You need to love me for who I am. And the only way for you to do that is to love yourself the best that you can. You need to be okay with you. Stop criticizing yourself so much because it's outpouring to me. Thank God that was in 2014, 2015. And so that was like over 7 years ago. And we're now about to celebrate our 10-year anniversary. I had to do a lot of maturing, and we also had to do a lot of healing as a couple. But we were willing to have those conversations in order for us to grow. But what I realized is that the way that I treated myself, or the way that I thought I needed to treat myself, and how I felt about my type of motivation, that's what I projected onto other people. And so this golden rule of treat others the way that you would like to be treated, it's so important for us to understand that not all of us treat ourselves the best way. Bodybuilding became my life. Fitness became my life. And I had to understand that loving myself for who I am and not for what I do is so important. And if you want a video that focuses on that concept of finding your worth for who you are and not what you do, please, right here, click on this video so that you can also have more of an understanding of your worth, not the things that you do, but for who you are. You are a human being, not a human doing. But I want us to get this concept, because the way that you treat yourself will ultimately be the way that you treat others. So you treat people the way that you would like to be treated. Love your neighbor as yourself. But what if I don't treat myself well? What if I don't love myself the right way? What if my definition of love is misguided? Because the more and more you put yourself in a position to accept misguided or abusive love, you start to believe that that's what you deserve, and that's what others will now need to accept from you too. The brokenness inside many of us listening right now will tell us that the reason some people act the way they act towards us is in fact because they actually love us. But what we don't realize is that their view of love is decrepit, and so they're showing you a lackluster or possibly emotional, physical, mental form of abusive love. But because you believe this is the love you deserve, you stay through it believing that this is truly love. This is the proper form of treatment. And if you love someone, you just have to stick it out. When in fact, that's not love. That's not it. You deserve better than that. And now the way you perceive love and treatment, you now reciprocate that very thing to others, because that's what was given to you. We treat people the way we would like to be treated, even if that treatment or that love is misguided. You see, the definition of treatment is simply the manner in which someone behaves or deals with another. And so you could treat someone with respect. You can treat someone with honor. You can treat someone with compassion. And you can also treat someone brutally. You can also treat someone with disdain. But how you like to be treated and how you allow yourself to be treated, those are strong indications as to how you will ultimately treat other people. I remember specifically telling myself I need to stop thinking so negatively, because I don't want this to spill over to other people, especially those closest to me. I don't want to be remembered for being that negative guy. I want to be remembered for bringing people light. I want to be remembered for people to feel happy after an encounter with me. I want people to feel empowered. I want people to feel less burdened. But the only way for me to truly be able to bring that out of others was to first crush this negative mindset that I had of myself. I had to learn to love myself. So hear me now. You can say you love others, but you have to show it. Inactionable love that is only spoken but never shown is actually manipulation. So then, have you manipulated your own mind to believe in this fabricated lie that the love you say you have for yourself is truly love, while the treatment you give to yourself is no better than when a dog eats its own vomit? I can't say I love you but treat you like garbage. The same way you can't say you love yourself but treat yourself terribly, speak to yourself poorly. You can't say you love yourself but you're ingesting drugs and hiding your pain with alcohol. You can't say you love yourself but are filling your mind with damaging pornography. You can't say you love yourself, but every time you see yourself, 80% of the time you even think about yourself is never something positive. If you witness two friends with each other, and one of those friends was always speaking negatively of the other, would you go to that friend and say, hey man, that person loves you? Or would you tell them you need to find a new friend because they don't really care for you? Listen, the same way I hope you would tell them to find a new friend is the same way I hope that when you find yourself speaking negatively to you, you're able to tell yourself, you know what? I need to renew my mind. I need to transform the way that I see myself. I need to change the way that I treat myself. Because as I treat myself the best way, I also will give the best of myself to others. I promise you right now, you will be better for society the more you take care of you. When you love yourself, you don't need anything, quote unquote, from others. All you are is an outpouring of joy, happiness, and love to other people. You're just sharing what you already have within. That's what we do in this world. We give people what we have. And if you have pain, hatred, that's what you're going to end up giving. But when you see yourself with light, when you see yourself with empowerment, when you see yourself with joy, with happiness, that's what you're going to give to other people. Other people will draw towards you because of the joy that you're able to just shine from your life. As you learn to love yourself, you actually learn to treat others with love. You treat others with respect. You empower others. You uplift others. Let's be real. The reason so many people have a hard time celebrating other people's success or uplifting them when they do well is because they're insecure within themselves. And they think that uplifting someone else will belittle them. But in fact, it's the opposite, because it truly builds your character when you're able to uplift someone. But when you love someone and you have enough love within yourself, you can celebrate your friend's success and lift them up on your shoulders, because you know that when it's time for you to be lifted up, they will also celebrate your success. And you may be telling yourself right now, man, BSO, speak to me. What does this all mean right now? Close your eyes if you want. Envision with me your most loved self. Who do you see? What do you do every morning? What do you do every day? What do you do at night? Are you affirming yourself? Are you telling yourself that you are excellent, that you are victorious? Do you see yourself smiling in the mirror? Do you decide to leave that abusive relationship? Do you put that drink down? Are you speaking up for yourself when others have tried to push you down? Do you smile with your spouse or your partner more? Are you caring for yourself? Did you prioritize yourself today? Did you wake up earlier and maybe exercise? Did you take a moment to breathe? Did you forgive yourself for the way you used to treat yourself? Do you love yourself? You see, your best treated self is right around the corner. And I tell you, there are things that I'm battling from my childhood, for things that I had to realize when I didn't truly love myself. But I'm able to debate with myself now and be able to say, is this really reality? And what I'm telling myself about myself, is that true? This life is not about the destination. It's all about the journey. And I'm sure you may have heard this before, but I'll tell you again, progression over perfection. You're not gonna get it all right all the time, but every day taking step by step to envision the most loving you, taking daily steps towards being the most best you. But give yourself time and start today. No reason to start tomorrow. Start today. You see, what you do today, it may not seem like a lot. Even what you do in the first week or first month, it may not seem like it's making that big of a difference. But remember, you are fighting exponential amount of days and hours and minutes of negativity that you have pounded over your life. However, now you're changing the trajectory for your life from this day moving forward. Give yourself time. Love you. Every morning, wake up and envision that best you, the most loved you, the best treated you. And I'm not talking about fake it till you make it. I don't believe in that. This is about creating the reality that you want to live in. Gail Matthews says that you are 42% more likely to accomplish your goal just for merely writing it down. Write your goals, make it plain, take a step day by day, and watch it come into fruition. Your most loved self, your best treated self is right at your grasp. And if someone hasn't told you this in a long time, I love you. I'm here for you, and I want you to elevate.